Good morning. Today I'd like to start our study off by drawing your attention again to Daniel's timeline. In the book of Daniel, our attention was drawn first to a period of time which was known as the Jewish dispensation of time, a period of 490 years. In this time period, we experienced the first advent of Jesus Christ. In the year 27 CE, Jesus came and was baptized by John the Baptist. Halfway through the last 7 years of this period of time, we were told that the Messiah would be cut off, and we notice how that Christ was crucified in the year 31 CE. And this period of time was brought to an end in 34 CE. While Jesus was on earth, he pointed our attention to things that would happen in the future. One of them being the destruction of Jerusalem, and we saw how that took place in the year 17 CE. Then Christ pointed our attention also towards a time period of great tribulation, that this period of time would have such an impact on planet Earth that it would affect future events and planning. I want to draw your attention to a verse found in John chapter 16, and I'm going to be reading verse 12. I have much more to say to you, more than you can bear. But when He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on His own. He will speak only what He hears, and He will tell you what is yet to come. He will bring glory to me by taking from what is mine and making it known to you. So we see here quite clearly that Jesus tells us that we were not quite ready for everything that was going to happen to the Christians in the future. But He tells us that the Holy Spirit would come and would draw our attention to the events that are to take place. I want to turn your attention today to Revelation chapter 5. And in Revelation chapter 5, I've entitled this study today, Heralds of Things to Come. In Revelation chapter 5, we are introduced to a very interesting scene. And I'm going to start reading from verse 1. Then I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll with writing on both sides and sealed with 7 seals. So here we see in the hand of the Father that He holds in His hand a scroll, and this scroll is covered or sealed with 7 seals. Now remember, symbolical language basically means that 7 means the message contained or the information contained in the scroll is complete. An angel asks a question in verse 2. Who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll? So the question is, who can read the scroll? And it's actually quite sad, because it says there in verse 3, but no one in heaven or on earth or under the earth could open the scroll or even look inside. The reaction of John is quite startling here. The word counsels me that he weeps because there was no one worthy to open up the scroll. But then in verse 5, we are encouraged with these words. He says to John, do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed. He is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals. So we see here that our attention is drawn to something that we need to look at, maybe because it's got to do with what is happening in the future. But the only person that can reveal that information to us is Jesus Christ. As John turns, he looks, and in verse 6 it says, then I saw a lamb who looked as if he had been slain, standing in the center of the throne, encircled by the 4 living creatures and the elders. So we see here that John sees that what he's looking at now is that this event has taken place. He sees a lamb that had been slain, not to be slain, So we see that this information takes us into the future after the resurrection of Christ. And we find that Christ stands in the presence of God, and God holds in his hand information that we need. Now in Matthew chapter 24, our attention was drawn to a very interesting comment made by Jesus himself. Now remember, Matthew 24 is all about future events. But then Jesus says these words in verse 36. No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. So our attention is drawn to the fact that events that were going to take place in the future was only known to the Father. And that is why we see in his hand that he holds the scroll sealed with 7 seals. But the Son approaches the Father, and the word counsels me there that he takes the scroll from the Father, from his right hand, and he starts to open up the seals. I want to finish off the study today by drawing your attention to verse 9. And they sang as a new song, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slain, and with your blood you purchased men from God, for God, from every tribe and language and people and nation. You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth. Isn't it wonderful, dear friends, that Jesus, because of his ministering work that he has done, can now have the opportunity of taking out of the Father's hand events that are going to be revealing the future. In this scroll, sealed with 7 seals, we are going to find information that heralds of things to come. May God bless you, and may you be as intrigued as I am as we now enter in to the study of the book of Revelation.